Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode number 128. Yeah, first one I've done in a couple weeks, mainly because for simple reason, no new episode came out last weekend and no new chapter manga came out. But this week, yep, new chapter of the anime manga and new episode of the anime. The episode 916, A Living Hell, Luffy Humiliated in the Great Mine. That's not episode 916 of the anime. And the 967 chapter of the manga, Roger's Adventure. And oh boy, I can't wait to review this one. This one was actually quite interesting. This episode is adapted from pages 5 through 15 of chapter 924, the last chapter of the first act of the One Arc. Yep, the first act wraps up with this very episode. Yep, in the manga, this took up like about 20 chapters, I think it was. Let's see. But this chapter, I believe, was like this chapter came, and it's something that we have now. In case you weren't, unlike Case Close, which had a brand new animation style for the start of the new year, this one didn't. That which fine. No, I did notice that Kaido looked a bit updated. Yeah, they updated Kaido in this episode when you see him in his dragon form. He looks in his dragon form. Yeah, before, the way they basically depicted him in the anime, the way the animation drew him, it seemed like they drew the way that he was done here. It wasn't done in the traditional animation style that's usually seen nowadays. It seemed like very old school style, like 90s, I'd say 80s style animation for him. Unknown why they depict him that way for, but in this episode, yeah, they actually depict him when he's in his dragon form in his proper thing. Finally. Okay, this arc has been 109. By the time I rolled around, let's see, we had 10. I think about, let me think. I think that's about 16 chapters. Yeah, basically 16 chapters of this whole entire arc when they ended Act 1. Yep. Now, the episode itself begins pretty much where the last week's episode left off, and it has two explanations for this episode. Okay, first of which, they actually have it where Kaido basically tells his men, because he's already beaten Luffy, he hasn't fully defeated him, he just basically beat him in a single fight. Says, lock him up, take him to that place. And they just pick him up, and he, while he's unconscious, uses the color of the Supreme King. And Kaido notices this right away because he's basically got very strong, he's got it too, and knocks out 4 guys. He only notices because he hears like 4 of his guys can simply knock unconscious. And he's probably thinking, wait, only one thing can make that move, and that's color of the Supreme King. Yeah, it's hockey. And then he's like, okay, take him there, and of course, transform in dragon form. This is why I mentioned that his animation style had tremendously changed. They updated him tremendously. Like, oh my gosh, he looked a lot better in this episode than he had in the last few because if you look at the way he looked in the anime, he looked like the way that the animation used to be done back in the, like, if you look at, let's say, old anime from like the 80s or 90s, it's done in that style for some strange reason. And yet with this episode, he's done in like the modern day style, which I don't have a problem with either. It's just that very jarring to see that for Kaido, who's happened to be the main villain this whole arc. And after he leaves, we actually have Kinemon go check on his wife, who sees an old ally of his pass by. Of course, he also popped up once prior to this, seeing Luffy, and he's like, "Who the heck is that guy?" He doesn't know Luffy is, anyways. He sees his wife tending to a guy who got beat up by an old ally of his, and that's last seen Kinemon. Of course, he's in disguise, the most laziest disguise I've seen. Just put a bandana over your head like this and tie around your nose like this. I'm like, that is your disguise? Why not? I don't know. Put it over your freaking face. I mean, that is a lazy disguise. I get the fact that possibly this is probably how people disguise themselves back in feudal Japan, but here's the thing. That will only work if it's night. This is during the daytime. Yeah, that's just a minor critique. And then we see that the Straw Hats and the Heart Pirates have survived. Here's how they say, okay, Otako is to find them. Sees a giant hole, and inside the hole is pretty much like the Straw Hats, basically. Nami, Brooke, Sanji, Chopper, Carrot, along with a few members of the Heart Pirates and Otama's dog. Oh yeah, there's an awesome moment that happens later on in the episode involving Otama. Yeah, she makes return in this episode after the last period a few episodes back. Yep. And it's revealed that the female ninja, I don't remember this woman's name. She's a very mature woman. She's like about 20. She's like, looking at her, she looks like Sanji's supposed to be in his 20s. I think this woman's supposed to be in her 40s. I'd say 50s. Apparently, she has the ability to make the ground rot, so it makes a big giant sinkhole. Everybody fall in while Kyle's blast go out. Looking up, Chopper basically went to his big guard point. So Sanji picks up all the ladies, including the female ninja, and he gets them all out, no problem. And of course, I think it was the dog who basically helped out. And they don't show it, but yeah, they get all out. And I'm talking, yeah, you're like rotten to the touch. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. That's simply put how it is this episode. Yep. And then, of course, Kaido basically mentioned before Luffy left, like, don't spread this around from the outside world. So, yeah, they spread on one posters of him, Luffy Toro. And we see Frankie, Usopp, Zoro, and Nico Robin's reaction to this. And they all have the same expression. It's like their shocked expression is like so silly. It's comical. I get Frankie doing it, but Robin? Why Robin? Why would she do this goofy expression? Usopp, I'm not surprised. But in the case of Zoro, they actually had him do it too, but it was not because he saw Luffy's poster, because he ate some spicy sushi. Yep. Which he tend to wash down with sake. Because that's Zoro for you. He loves drinking sake. He doesn't like sharing his beer around, but he'll drink it. And he's like, oh yeah, you gotta pay. And his guy's like, you gonna pay for this? He doesn't answer the question. It's never brought up again. Yep, and then we see Luffy get transferred to prison. We see a guy in this cell. Yeah, the whole point of that character being there, that is set up for Act 2 of this story. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, that guy, I'm not going to spoil who he is. Let's just say he's somebody who's exclusively for this arc. He didn't appear prior to this. He's somebody that characters who are from Wano know who this guy is. I mean, people who are not from this prison. They know who this guy is, and there's a female prisoner there. I'm like, okay, this is prison for guys. Why is there a female guard? Yeah, I don't know. Luffy just basically, also he been bandaged up. Yeah, they put him in these special chains. We also see Law briefly in the episode, almost like a big cameo, where he just running away through the woods. Basil Hawkins in the episode, and you see him briefly for like one scene, and that's it for you see for Basil Hawkins. And as far as I remember, I think he disappears for a little while. Not too long, per se. I think he's gone for about, in the manga, I think he's gone for about 10 chapters. I think he is. Basil Hawkins. Law takes a lot longer to show up. Like, a good, 20 chapters after this before he finally makes the return. Yeah. Where he takes away Basil Hawkins. Yeah, so it takes him a long-ass time to finally make his return. Mm-hmm. And, well, yeah, that was the episode. It's like this whole point of this episode was just basically just to wrap up this act 1 of the story. And next week's episode, it's the return of Gecko Moria for the first time since Marineford. Yes. The return. Yes. Am I looking forward to this? Well, of the warlords, I think Gecko Moria was actually a pretty decent warlord. Was he a terrible character? No, he's not a terrible character. He's quite interesting of a character. I mean, heck, if you look at Thread Bark itself, it's simply a horror. It's sort of a, how should I put this? It's a tribute to classic horror. Like old school Universal horror. That's my personal guess what it is. But this episode overall was really good. I mean, overall this episode was just the conclusion of Act 1 and set up for Act 2. Though we have to wait a couple episodes to come back to this because we're going to go outside of the Wano. Yeah, not the first time we're going to say this because they do this again with Act 2, but at least in the case of between Act 1 and Act 2, there's only just one chapter outside the world and then back to Wano. Between Act 1 and Act 2, there's actually about 2 or 3 chapters between them. Now we're just in Act 3. Now move on to the newest chapter of the manga, which is Ryder's Adventure. Yes, that's the name of the chapter. Chapter has this wonderful drawn image by Oda, which has the Straw Hats. Looks like they're drinking and basically playing cards and also eating some food as well. Yep, it's a great cover image. Surprisingly, Carrie is not in this image for some reason. Basically, it's just Luffy, Zoro, Frankie, Usopp, Chopper, Brook, Nami, Sanji, and Robin. That's it. No Carrot, surprisingly. Who knows? Chapter starts up, still in the past, picks up where we last time they came off, where they basically finished up from Skypiea. Yeah, they went there last chapter. And, like, apparently Roger finds out that there's a pornograph in the country and it's red. Tell me sooner. So, then they make a quick pit stop at Water 7. Well, they run into Tom. Yes, Tom. Making his first appearance since Water 7. Yeah, this is not a flashback. Well, the last time you was seen was actually in Frankie's flashback. We also see young Frankie here, who's still doing this thing of not wearing freaking pants. He wears a Speedo and a shirt. We see the secretary, who doesn't look like she's aged. I mean, yeah, this particular flashback is set like 25 years of our present day. But it seems as though that the lady who was the secretary, yeah, she doesn't look like she's changed very much. So then they make a stop at Fishman Island. Yep, they go underwater and they run into Neptune, who apparently like who is here? Like, it's me. Look, it's me, Neptune. Roger, I barely recognize you. He's like, what did I do? Yeah, they think, yeah, talk about prophecy. Yeah, and they talk about, and we see Charlie. I think, yeah, this is the same character who appeared in the Fisherman Island arc, who's a fortune teller. Yeah. Yeah, who I think is supposed to be in present day when they meet her, because they mentioned it's been like 25 years since Roger's execution. I think she's supposed to be about 28, I think she's supposed to be. But here, 3-year-old girl. Yeah. And I'm sure Luffy, when he left, he probably told when the Starfleet formed, and to ask them, like, if they go to Fishman Island, stop by her shop. She has a very good shop. Yep. Talk about having a daughter, because of course Neptune's not even married yet. He says he'll be king for 3 minutes. Yeah, this is before he met his smoking hot wife, Otakura. Yeah, beautiful woman from what I saw of her in the anime. And Neptune was one lucky guy to marry that beautiful woman and had 4 kids with her. 3 boys and 1 beautiful girl, who was basically the size of a freaking whale. Yes, Sarah Hoshi was a humongous mermaid. She's basically the size of her father. Yep. And they're here for a brief period of time. Yeah, they're here for like several pages. And then they go to Zoo Island, where the minks are from. And they basically hang out here for a little while. Yep. And they go to the Mink Island. Like, everybody's very happy to see them. They go inside the place that was actually last seen back in the Zoo Island arc. Basically, the Kazu Clan seal. Yeah. And you see the rope holograph. Yeah. Great to see this thing again. Now, if you only read the manga, like the last time I was seeing, I don't remember what chapter it was. It was like toward the end of the Zoo Island arc, but if you only just watched the anime, you're probably thinking, well, I'm talking about this. You're like, what? They may return to this room? That's cool. Yep. And we see a young Pedro in this chapter. Yep, Pedro's here. And, well, then we see red-haired Shanks. He's in the chapter for a little bit. So they mention, oh yeah, he's the king of the pirates. And, yeah, overall, this is a really fantastic chapter. Oh yeah, and they mentioned the whole laughing tail thing. Yeah, this island where some crew member got left behind. Yeah, all about laughter. But yeah, this is overall a really good chapter. I thoroughly enjoyed it. For a 20-page chapter, really good, thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, yes, it was well worth waiting 2 weeks for this chapter because it's just so damn good. Yep. Oh, in case you're wondering, I got a new phone today. Yeah, because my charge port on my phone decided to damage itself, so got a new one. Yeah, I decided to upgrade instead of just waiting for a replacement come in. Yep. What do I get this chapter? I get this chapter roughly a what do I get this chapter? How about a 10 out of 10? Damn good chapter. Yeah. So that's it for the singular review. Now, I would normally have done a review of, I believe it was Baruto be next, but no, there's no Baruto today. Nope, no Baruto. Yep. So yeah, my next review, I'll probably do it soon because I'm going to be reading the arc for it. I'm gonna do a review. I'm gonna have 2 more videos coming today, maybe 3 if I get the other thing done. Yeah. Basically, my next view will be a review on the next arc, second to most recent arc for Demon Slayer. And I'm going to do a couple random reviews, and that will basically be it for today. Now, I'm still planning on doing My Hero Academia also. Yeah, but the chapter itself is not coming out until, I think it's like tomorrow, I think it is. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, that's it for the review. So, until you see you on the next video. Bye.